Yo, what's up guys? It's Noah here, and in today's video, we're going to be talking through some player props I like on Prizepicks for today's MLB slate on Wednesday, June the 4th. We got a full Wednesday slate today. We do have a couple early games today, but we're not going to focus on those early games. Those games do start in a few hours. Not going to give out any props for those. We're just going to focus on the games later tonight. I think we have like 11 or 12 games in the night slate, so plenty of games, guys. I do have 3 early plays that I like for today's MLB slate that we're going to break down and talk about in this video. Before we do talk through these plays though, as always, if you guys do enjoy these Prizepicks videos, and if they do help you out, make sure that you hit that like button down below. I do always appreciate the likes. Make sure to hit that subscribe button as well. And if you guys are new to the channel, and if you are new to Prizepicks, if you don't have a Prizepicks account, be sure to go sign up. Use that promo code NOAH when you guys do sign up for Prizepicks with my promo code and place your first $5 lineup. You're going to get $50 instantly added to your account. Easy way to get that bankroll built up on Prizepicks. Again, if you don't have an account over there, use that code NOAH when you do sign up. And then I do also want to shout out Sleeper, because we do have a partnership with Sleeper as well. You guys can go sign up for Sleeper. Use promo code NOAH over on Sleeper. You'll get your first deposit matched up to $100. So whatever you put in on your first deposit, Sleeper will match that up to $100. If you want to put in $100, they'll give you an additional $100 to play with. If you want to put in $50, they'll give you an additional $50. Whatever you do deposit though on that first deposit, it is matched up to $100. And if you guys don't know what Sleeper is, they're a DFS pick'em app. They're very similar to Prizepicks. They're very similar to all the other DFS pick'em apps that you see around the industry. You pick more or less on player projections. You build out your lineup. You can do up to an 8-pick lineup on Sleeper. You can win up to 100x your money. And Sleeper, in my opinion, one of the better apps when it comes to discounts. They're always doing discounts, promotions throughout the week. They pretty much have discounted player props like every day. They do protected plays a lot. They do multiplier boost. They do payout boost. A bunch of different promotions on Sleeper. Also, if you're a new user, they do give out free squares to all new users. So when you sign up, use that code NOAH, you'll have some free squares in your account that you can use, put those in some lineups, and hopefully win some money. So go check out Sleeper, guys. And again, use that promo code NOAH if you have not signed up for Sleeper yet. But let's go ahead and talk about some plays that I do like for today's slate on Wednesday. Now, before we talk through our plays for today, I do want to recap our plays from our video on Tuesday. So we gave out 3 picks on Tuesday. We gave out 3 strikeout props. We went 1 and 2 on our 3 plays, so it was not a good day on Tuesday. We did hit on Lance McCullers over 5.5 strikeouts, but we missed on Sandy Alcantara over 5.5 strikeouts. Alcantara was actually pitching pretty well yesterday. I think he got like 2 strikeouts in the first inning. It was, got off to a good start. I think he had gotten through like 5 innings, no runs allowed. Pitch count was really low. But then he had a tough 6th inning, gave up a couple runs in the 6th inning, and they pulled him at 70 pitches, which I was really surprised about. I mean, Alcantara is a pitcher that's historically, been able to throw a lot of pitches in his career, but he was pulled at just 70 pitches yesterday. Thought he could have at least gone at least another inning, maybe 2 more innings with how low his pitch count was. But he only had 4 Ks in 6 innings. Obviously, the strikeout stuff kind of diminished for him after a little bit of a hot start. So that play unfortunately missed. And then we took Spencer Strider over 6.5 strikeouts, which also missed. Strider just didn't have his best stuff yesterday. I think he went 5 innings, only had 4 Ks, gave up like 4 or 5 runs. He was giving up some homers. I think Ketel Marte had 2 homers off Strider yesterday. Just didn't look as sharp as he normally does. Guess that happens. With baseball, pitchers aren't going to pitch at their best every single start. So we had some bad reads on Tuesday, guys, but we're going to get back at it here for Wednesday. See if we can bounce back here. Got 3 plays for Wednesday. Again, on Prizepicks now, 3-pick lineups, 3-pick power plays do pay out 6x. So you might see me posting some more 3-pick lineups moving forward, just because of that boost in payout does make them much better slips to play than before when they only paid out 5x. So we do have 3 picks for today. Let's go ahead and break them down. So the first prop that I like for today is going to be a prop on O'Neal Cruz. And we're going to take O'Neal Cruz for more than 7.5 hitter fantasy score. So if you are new to Prizepicks, or if you're new to baseball, you don't know how hitter fantasy score works, very simple, very self-explanatory. Click scoring chart, scroll down to the bottom, and you can see how hitters get points. Singles are worth 3 points, doubles 5, triples home run, or triples 8, home run 10, and then RBI runs scored, walks, hit by pitch, stolen base. You pretty much get points for everything. If guys steal bases, get walked, you get points for everything when you're looking at fantasy score. And that's one thing I do like about O'Neal Cruz is he is a guy that can steal bases, can take walks. Obviously, he's a big power bat. Hits the ball incredibly hard. He's got like one of the hardest exit velocities of any hitter in the league. But he can also steal bases. Like I think this season he's got, I want to say he has double-digit stolen bases. I'm gonna take a look at that real quick. Yeah, he's got 20 stolen bases this year. So O'Neal Cruz, big threat to steal bases too if he gets on base. Like he could hit a single to start the game and then steal second, and just like that, he's got 8 fantasy points and he's over this line. But I really like this matchup for O'Neal Cruz going up against Ryan Gusto. So Ryan Gusto for the Astros, we've only seen him, this is his rookie year in the majors. And this season he's really struggled against left-handed hitters. Left-handed hitters have had a lot of success against Gusto. Lefties are batting .289 with a .393 on-base percentage, .553 slugging. And then if we look at like his strikeout stuff, I mean, he's got decent strikeout stuff, 23% strikeout rate, but he's given up some hard contact, like 33% hard contact to lefties. I think this is a really good spot for some of the lefties for the Pirates, specifically O'Neal Cruz, a guy that we know has a ton of power, really good against right-handed pitching. Cruz has really struggled against left-handed pitching this season, but he's been good against right-handed pitching, batting .255, has a ton of power, .540 slug, 917 OPS, 285 ISO, 148 WRC+. And Cruz has been even better at home this season, which you kind of wouldn't expect because the Pirates ballpark, it's never been known as a hitter's park, but at home this season versus right-handed pitching, Cruz, 281 average, 432 on base percentage, 667 slug, OPS over 1,000, 386 ISO, 191 WRC+ for Cruz at home this season versus right-handed pitching. So Cruz has great splits at home this year. Gusto really struggling with lefties. Like this spot a lot for O'Neal Cruz. I think there's a lot of ways that he could get us 8 fantasy points tonight. I think he's definitely a good bet to hit a home run if that's something that you wanted to take a shot on. I haven't looked at the home run odds for today, but if Cruz is like plus 300, plus 400, I don't think he would be that high, but if he's like plus 400, I think that's a decent bet for a home run if you wanted to take that. But again, we talked about how Cruz has stolen base upside, so he's got a lot of ways that he can get us 8 fantasy points, and I do like this matchup a lot for him against a pitcher that has struggled a lot against lefties this year. So that's going to be our first play for today. Next play that we're going to take is going to be a prop on Cade Povich. We're going to take Cade Povich for more than 15.5 pitching outs. So Cade Povich, you look at his recent starts lately, he has gone under this start now, or under this line now in back-to-back starts. Went 5 innings against Boston, so obviously lost by the hook, and then he got pulled after going 4 2/3 against the Cardinals in his last start. But this is a matchup that I do like for Povich, especially with this game being played in Seattle. Seattle's ballpark, if you don't know, it is always played as one of the more pitcher-friendly ballparks. And Povich this season has had pretty drastic home and road splits. He's been really bad at home, but he's been significantly better on the road. Now, he's only made 4 road starts this season, so it's kind of a small sample. But it makes sense to see Povich do better on the road than at home because Baltimore is a team that does play in a pretty hitter-friendly ballpark. The Orioles, their ballpark has always played more hitter-friendly. So it's not surprising to see Povich have better starts on the road. And in his 4 road starts this season, he's gone at least 6 innings in 3 out of those 4 starts. And then his other start against Boston, he went 5 innings, got pulled after 5 innings. In that start, I believe, let me see. I want to see how many pitches he threw. I think he did throw a lot of pitches. Yeah, that was his. That was this start a couple starts ago. He did throw 98 pitches through 5 innings. But what I do like to see is that he is throwing a lot of pitches. Like he has a long leash. 103, 99, 98, 96 pitches in his last 4 starts. So if Povich can throw like 95 to 100 pitches, he just needs to be a little bit more efficient, and he can easily get into the 6th inning here, especially in a good pitcher's park that should play down to runs. I think Povich was favored for under 2.5 runs allowed today. So like the sports books, they're kind of favoring him to pitch a little bit better here than what he has been lately. I mean, in his last start against St. Louis, he did give up 8 hits, 5 runs, 3 walks. This definitely feels like a good kind of bounce back spot for Cade Povich. Like if you look at the Mariners this season against left-handed pitching, they've not been that great. especially at home. The Mariners have really struggled at home against left-handed pitching, and like we said, with Seattle's ballpark being so pitcher-friendly, it makes sense to see the Mariners struggling at home. But this season at home versus left-handed pitching, I mean, the Mariners, they rank 28th in batting average. They rank 28th in on-base percentage. They rank 24th in slugging, 26th in OPS. Like, all their offensive metrics are like bottom 5 in the league versus left-handed pitching at home. So I do like this spot for K. Povich. I think this is a spot where he can go a little bit deeper into the game, going into a good pitcher's park, facing an offense that has struggled against left-handed pitching, especially at home this season. And we've got such a long leash on Povich. I mean, like I said, he's been throwing like 95 to 100 pitches lately in all of his recent starts. If he can go that, if he can throw that many pitches, I feel fairly confident he can get through at least 5 innings, have a chance to pitch into the 6th. Obviously, we don't need him to go through a full 6 innings. If he just gets into the 6th, gets 1 out, that's really all that we need here. So I like that as our second prop for today. And then the last prop that I like is going to be on Kyle Harrison. And we're going to take Kyle Harrison. Well, we're going to take under 26.5 fantasy score. That line just got bumped down to 25.5. Like, I think 25.5 is still okay. I don't like it as much, but I think it's still probably my favorite prop here on Harrison. You could also look at his under on 4 strikeouts, but I feel like if he goes over 4 strikeouts, he's probably going over fantasy score, and I could definitely, or if he goes over 4 strikeouts, I don't think it's a guarantee that he goes over fantasy score. I could definitely see scenarios where, he has like 5-6 Ks, but still goes over or still goes under fantasy, especially if he gives up like a couple runs. Whereas like if he doesn't get 4 Ks, I have a hard time seeing him getting 26 fantasy points without 4 strikeouts. So I think I still like fantasy score under the most. But if you wanted to look at his under on 4 strikeouts, you could. But you look at his last 2 starts, he did have 5 Ks his last start, 4 Ks the start before that. But he went under his fantasy score with 4 Ks, did go over his fantasy score last start with 5 Ks. But I think this is a difficult spot for Kyle Harrison going up against the Padres. The Padres have been a really good offense this season. I mean, they're just a really potent offense. They don't strike out a lot. I mean, they have one of the lowest strikeout rates in the league. And against left-handed pitching this season, the Padres have the 2nd lowest strikeout rate in the league. So this is a really tough team to get strikeouts against, hence why Harrison has just a 4K prop for today. And then if you look at their offensive metrics against left-handed pitching, I mean, they've kind of been a league average team, 16th in batting average, on-base percentage, they're 16th, slugging, they're 16th. Like, they're pretty much like middle of the pack in terms of their offensive numbers. But what really makes this such a tough spot is, again, how little the Padres strike out. It's just hard for pitchers to go out and put up huge games against the Padres because it's just hard to get strikeouts against this Padres team. Maybe Harrison goes out there and looks really good, gets like 6 or 7 Ks here, but given where his K prop is set at today, 4, I think on sportsbooks, I want to say his line on sportsbooks is at 4.5, but it's heavily juiced towards the under. So sportsbooks are not expecting Harrison to go out there and get a bunch of Ks in the spot. And if he's not going to be able to get like 5 or 6 Ks, if he doesn't come close to 5 or 6 Ks, I have a hard time seeing him get 26 fantasy points. And another thing I think working in our favor here, so Kyle Harrison to start the season was working out of the bullpen. That's why you see like his lines, not getting a lot of points because he was only pitching like 1 or 2 innings to start the season. But his last 2 starts, he has been operating as a starter. He did throw 80 pitches in his last start, and then in the start before that, I think he threw like 50. Yeah, he threw 57 pitches in 4 innings against Washington, and then in his last start, he did throw 80 pitches against the Marlins through 5 innings. Harrison probably only gonna go like 85-ish pitches here, 85, maybe 90 pitches. If he's pitching well. And we've seen the Giants get a lot of length out of their starters lately. Logan Webb in the season opener of this series, he went like 7 or 8 innings. It was on Monday. Logan Webb threw 8 innings, so they got a lot of length out of Logan Webb. Last night, Landon Root threw 6 1/3. So they've gotten a lot of length out of their starters the last 2 games. Their bullpen is well rested here. This is definitely a spot where I could see Kyle Harrison getting pulled after 5 innings. Even if he's only at like 75 pitches, like I could easily see them pulling him, through 5 innings, 75 pitches, and just let the bullpen finish out the rest of the game. So there's a lot of things working against Kyle Harrison here. Tough matchup overall. Well-rested bullpen, so I think his leash is not going to be super long in this spot. And, this is only his 3rd start since being, operating as a starter. So, like, he's already not working with a super long leash to begin with, got pulled after just 80 pitches in his last start. The start before that, I mean, they pulled him at 57 pitches. So, like, the bullpen, being well rested, I think makes this a tougher spot for Harrison to go super deep into the game. If he goes 5 innings with like 4 Ks, gives up 2 runs, which I think could be that's probably like a reasonable projection for him. I mean, that would only put him at 21 fantasy points. I think this line at 25.5, it was 26.5. I think at 25.5, it's still a little bit too high. I would probably play this down to like 23.5, 24.5. At 25.5, I do still like the under here on Kyle Harrison's fantasy score. So those are going to be our 3 props for today, guys. Going to take O'Neal Cruz for more than 7.5 hitter fantasy score, K. Povich for more than 15.5 pitching outs, and Kyle Harrison for less than 25.5 pitcher fantasy score. So we got 3 plays. Let's see if we can go 3-0 here, get a 6x hit on these 3 plays. Shout out to Prizepicks again for doing 6x now on 3-pick power plays. That's a huge W. I think playing 3-pick power plays is definitely much more profitable on Prizepicks now moving forward, and I'm going to be putting out definitely more 3-pick lineups, when I can find 3 good plays that I do like, which I was able to do today. So, we got 3 plays, guys. Let's go 3-0. Let's make some money tonight. But again, appreciate you guys' support. Appreciate you watching these Prizepicks videos as always. Hit that like button down below if you guys did enjoy. Hit that subscribe button as well. And again, if you guys don't have an account over on Prizepicks, be sure to go sign up for Prizepicks and use that promo code NOAH. When you guys do sign up for Prizepicks with my promo code, place your first $5 lineup. You're going to get $50 instantly added to your account. So check out Prizepicks if you have not yet. But good luck tonight, guys. Thanks for watching. Let's win some money tonight, and I'll see you guys in the next video.